Welcome to the Look Who It Is podcast, where we sit down with artists to talk music, life, and all the stories in between. Now here's your host, Dane Engel.
Hey everyone, today we're joined by Texas country artist Matt Castillo. You go to Nashville quite often?
Yeah, I've been trying to. I've been trying to save up all my gig money to come to Nashville and be up here for 4 or 5 days and try to write the best songs, working on a new project, and been just trying to rack up songs and writing the best I can. I don't have a publisher or anything. I'm it, so I just try to reach out to everybody I know or who I've written in the past, and it's been fun to explore new writers or just learn something new. As much as I'm wearing a bunch of hats, it's kind of hard to like stay on top of the songwriting part of things, So, but it's been fun. I leave on Friday, but I've had a good 3 days since I've been here. So,
Is it all business while you're there?
I always try to be. You don't want to pass up an opportunity. Since I don't come up here a lot, I don't want to really miss a moment to try to be in rooms or try to meet new people in the industry or. Yesterday I was out on the lake, but I was with another songwriter, and we were just. It was a different approach on songwriting. Just kind of like, hey, it's okay. You can let loose a little bit, drink a few beers, and see what comes to your mind. And we did. I was with my buddy Jared Ames, and we just started free flowing off the top of our head, and just it was one of those things where it wasn't too serious. Monday I wrote with a first time writer, and he just came back from having a baby, so he was probably in a different mindset. I had just got back from being on the road and concentrating on the touring part or keeping the band business together, that I came up here and I was like, man, I apologize if I'm a little rusty. He's like, no, don't worry. It's a safe place. And so that's the cool thing about being with these songwriters. There's always a good safe place. And being an artist first and then a songwriter, I at least try to come with some sort of ideas, but it is strictly business. Just come here with just like a one-track mind, just get business done.
Do you feel like being on the lake, you're more productive than maybe sitting around?
No, I don't know.
Or maybe more creative?
Yeah, I guess you're not just stuck in a four-wall room, like the pressure is on to write, and you have to write within the time, 11 to 2, woke up late, had some good rest, went on the lake and was out there for like 4 or 5 hours and was really creative. It was like just free flow, but I do respect the game that these writers go into, and I love it, man. It's cool how quick they think on their feet and the creative mind. It's pretty cool, but it was good to be laid back for just, I'm a chill.
Yeah, that's probably nice. I'm not a songwriter or anything, and it just amazes me how people can turn stories into words or even come up with stories if it's not something that they personally experience.
Yeah, how you tap into that is a very it's intimidating, but also like very rewarding when you like figure that out. Or I wish I spent more time, and I probably could, but these guys do it for a living every day, and I'm back in Texas, and I'm thinking, man, I bet you somebody's writing a hit right now. Yeah, I bet you somebody's in the room writing a hit right now while I'm here, and but yeah, the last couple of times I've been up here have been very productive, looking for outside songs to put on the new album or the new project. It's been a different approach because you're so used to writing your stuff or being in the rooms to co-write that asking for songs is almost like, am I too lazy to write my songs? Because I'm gonna ask for songs and I don't, but it's the opposite up here. Up here, they're like, yeah, you want outside songs? Yeah, we'll give you all the outside songs. And it's, for once, it's like you're not so pressured to like write all your stuff or co-write. You just say, hey, I need songs, and this is what I'm looking for, this, and that, and then go from there. So it's been kind of cool.
Do you bring a lot of ideas that you come up with at home and bring them with and then complete them?
100%. Yeah, that's the number one rule if you're going to be in a room with some good writers, and you got to come with something. My phone is stacked with titles, and I go over them one more time, and then I realize maybe these titles are for this songwriter, And then these titles are specifically for this writer. So when I went in today, I wrote with a guy by the name of Roger Springer, and I had about 5 or 6 titles that I thought he might like, and he landed on one, and so we just wrote that. And it was our first time writing together, so I really didn't expect it to be like a oh wow moment, but it was a really good moment. It was a really good start to a hopefully a continued writing relationship. And before we got in the room, he asked a bunch of questions of what I've been doing, how my socials, because he's been working with a lot of other guys too, and it's since the game is always changing. I feel in the industry, it's like but then we got to know each other and started writing, just started throwing up words, man. It's kind of funny.
Probably within the first few minutes or something, if you guys are going to vibe.
Yeah. I go in, I do my homework, and I find out who these writers are and what songs they've written or co-written and what albums they're on, and I get a vibe like, okay, yeah, that vibes with me. That's what I'm going for. So we should be pretty good in working this relationship out pretty well and pretty quick. And so we did. He just found a melody, and I wish I was more of a melody guy. But sometimes you get in a room with 3 people, and one's a really good lyricist, one has really good ideas and titles, and there's one guy with just melodies, and like they just like, oh, it's so good. But we had a really good I call it a first date. It was cool.
Yeah,
It was really fun.
I do like the idea of melodies, because I feel like that is pretty hard. Like you can
It is.
understand, like you can write and stuff, but to figure out how you're gonna project it.
Yeah, what comes to mind? Like I remember I wrote with Jeff Hyde and Bryce Long, and they're smash writers. They're like, I don't even know why they let me in that damn room in the first place, but here we are. And we're sitting outside waiting for Jeff Hyde to arrive to the right, and me and Bryce Long were sitting outside, and he's like, "What you got, Matt?" I was like, "All right, man, I had this title in my head for a long time. I thought it'd be fit pretty good, and I love shuffles, And he's like, "Well, let me hear it." I said, and the title is, I thought I heard a teardrop fall from the jukebox," and he goes, I go to shuffle. We'll figure it out when we get in there. And so we pitched it to Hyde, and Hyde was like, "Oh, all right, that's pretty different." And like a lot of people say sometimes, like, well, a jukebox is kind of outdated. To me, it's a feeling. To me, it's just what I want to write. I can write things that are updated today, and there's some stuff that I just want to kind of reminisce and like write what the '90s guys were writing, And I thought it was kind of cool. And a jukebox can be anything. It's an AMI jukebox. It's a touch tune jukebox.
Right.
It's still a jukebox, Like to me, a radio's a jukebox. What you have on your iPhone is a damn jukebox. You know what I mean? You put on a playlist and you let it play. That's a mobile jukebox you got right there. So I thought it was a really cool, unique. But Jeff Hyde came with some a melody on there. I was like, oh yeah, okay, we're rolling. We're rolling good now.
Well, I guess we started off talking hot there. You want to kind of roll back, and we'll start from the beginning. And
well, I was born in Austin, Texas, but I was raised in the Rio Grande Valley, Edinburgh, Texas, and I've always loved country music, and I owe it to my mom, who loved country music. And it was one of those things where I have an older sister and older brother, and living in Austin, I had a taste of both sides at a young age. In kindergarten, first I was living in the valley, and then I moved up back to Austin with my mom, second, third grade. And I guess I was just kind of spoiled down in the valley that I just decided to go back, not thinking about any consequences, not thinking about my decision that I made. And my mom was working 2 jobs, and she was kicking ass as a mom. She really was. But I just didn't like it because I got spoiled. My brother was in trouble. My sister was, trying to go, doing her thing. And I just didn't like it, and I just called my aunt one day, and I said, I don't want to be here anymore. I want to go home. I want to go to the valley. She's like, what? You tell your mom? I was like, no. She goes, all right, we'll be up there on the weekend. So they drove up. They didn't tell my mom. My mom didn't know. They drive up. They're sitting in my living room, both my aunts. And like, well, Mateo wants to go back to the valley. He wants to go. And my mom's looking at me like, what? And she's like, is this true? And I go, yeah, I want to go down to the valley, to Edinburgh. Mom goes, okay. Once you make this decision, it's done, right? You can't go back. You can't go down there and then come back and blah, blah, blah. I said, no, I know. And I didn't know. And so I went down, and you went from the big city to just fields of like produce, orchards, and, just like, what is this? It's like, there's no city. It's nothing. It's like literally a small town. And so I did that for, all the way to college, man. But I would come always back and forth. I'd come back to Austin. Every holiday, it was almost like I was in boarding school. I'd just go down for the school year, and then I'd come up for every holiday to see my mom. And my mom never missed anything. Like, she would come down too, and never missed a birthday, never missed any sports that I played, baseball, basketball. So she was always present. She was always there. Even if she wasn't physically there, she was always there, when I needed her. And so I knew that you love country music, and I did too. I was a big Garth Brooks fan. And, I listened to Garth a lot, and this was back in like 98, I think, when he did, I forgot what year it was that he did that special on NBC or whatever. And I was like, I want to do that, And so I just started trying to learn every song possible that when I came back to see my mom, whatever I heard on the radio. So I wanted to memorize every song, And so, I try to impress my mom with stuff like that. And so, yeah, I got my, fast forward to high school, I got my first guitar when I was a sophomore in high school, and learned from a fret book of how to learn all my chords, and went to go print out all the lyrics on paper, and I just started learning all those covers. Should have been a cowboy, and Friends in Low Places, or Much Too Young, and my uncle would get pissed off because he had to buy ink because I would just print out papers of just tabs. It was all tab, and I didn't know that. I knew I wanted to do that, and as a little kid, looking back, they used to have these like portable jukebox with a microphone, and I'd sing into it. I'd put my favorite, on, and I'd sing it, or I'd take some headphones, I'd turn them sideways, and I just emulate, Garth. And I always wanted to be a country singing star, and I would always, ask God, I hope one day I get to be a country star. I was a little kid, dreaming. And I would say that a lot. I said, God, I hope I'd get to be a country star. I want to be a country star, and I couldn't. Education was a huge thing, and so I couldn't. In the family that I was being raised, playing country music was just a dream. It was just like a hobby, and never knew it could turn into a business. So I had to get my education. I graduated. I was the first one in my family to graduate high school, and then first one in my family to graduate college. And so I got my degree in athletic training and a minor in criminal justice, and I wanted to get it over with so I can play music. And I had started a band. Granted, I got kicked out of college because I wasn't ready. I got kicked out. I was on academic probation 3 times, and then I just got the letter saying you've been kicked out of college. So I couldn't, own up to it to my parents. My mom and my aunt and my uncle, who spent countless times, especially my mom, spent countless times paying for college. We would do the FAFSA, and we'll do like emergency loans. And my mom, I just felt terrible. My mom worked her ass off, and then here I am screwing it up. But I didn't want it. So I just told my mom that I was tired of being in the Valley and I need to move back up to Austin. And so I lied, and she picked me up and went to Austin Community College and got my grades back up. But I found Texas country music. That's when I first, found Randy Rogers Band and Jason Boland, the Stragglers, and Wade Bowen. I loved it. I thought it was so edgy and in your face. Who cares? All the like the 90s stuff. And then the early 2000s was like very polished. It was really happy. And then this Texas country was just like all up in your face, And so I fell in love with that, and I started learning that. And I learned pretty much live at Billy Bob's, the Randy Rogers Band concert. I learned it from first track to the last track. And then I bought the DVD so I can see what chords he was playing and how he played a certain note, or how he worked his guitar And I would go back and I would watch, YouTube videos of Garth doing the same to figure out what that is. And, I just was engulfed, and I didn't care about school. It just didn't excite me, but, and then, I started doing open mics and playing my favorite covers. Cause I think at open mic, the Nutty Brown Cafe on Tuesdays, you just play whatever, play like 2 covers and original. I wasn't writing then, I was in college. I wasn't even writing. I think I didn't write till I was 23, 22. I started actually writing songs. And then I just saved up my money to get my first album out called Small Town Stories under a different name. I was Matt and the Herdsman when I first started. And then, that kind of, fizzled out. So I wanted to keep going. So I just started with Matt Castillo and went from there. But yeah, it's kind of that in a nutshell. I would help bring the guys over to practice, and my aunt and uncle would be like, "Oh, it's just a hobby." And all of a sudden, we're getting gigs in Austin and getting gigs around town and opening up for Randy Rogers and in Far, Texas, and shit, doing it for free. I had to tell my boys. I said, "Hey, man, you want to open up for Randy Rogers?" Because we're all like, Randy Rogers band fans, and I said, "It's not paying anything; it's free, but I think it's going to be some really good exposure. It can lead into other private gigs or whatever." So the guys just said, "Yeah." So I called, called the promoter back, said, "We'll do it." And so it was our first time, headlining, supporting Randy Rogers. And then the first song I put out on radio, local country radio, KTEX, was a Dance All Night. And I think it came out on Valentine's Day. And I remember I heard myself on the radio for the first time, and I thought, "Oh, that's pretty badass." So yeah, it's a cool little journey. But I don't have a plan B. I didn't get my license in athletic training, and I don't know if it's too late to be a cop, but I don't want to do anything else. It's just grinding it out, honestly.
So you went to open mic, and then how did it leap from there to getting actual gigs?
Well, I just kind of tried stuff, and then I would go around asking people if they needed a band. And Nutty Brown gave us our first outside gig because we were playing a lot in Edinburgh, Texas, and McAllen. We play at a place called Monster Car Wash. Monster Car Wash used to be one half was a car wash, and then the other half was like a bar and grill, and they had like a little bar area. And we got our first start there, and we did good. And then we'd go hop down the road 15 minutes to another place called Hillbillies and play there, and then we'll go to like Westlaco, Texas, then we'll go to Brownsville, then we'll go to Sal Padre, and then I wanted to get out because in the Valley you can go east to west, 52 weeks a year. But Nutty Brown was my way out, so I would call the lady. I said, "Hey, can we come play?" And we had to bring our own sound. We don't bring our own equipment. We had our bass player Danny was our saving grace because he knew how to run sound. So we just packed it all up in a little mini U-Haul trailer, get the cheapest one we could, and loaded up, and there we went. And then we just started getting gigs left and right. And then I start reaching out. I wake up in the morning. I was doing substitute teaching and a basketball referee while I was doing the music. And I was making some good money, but I knew that I wasn't really going to get far unless I really took the leap of faith and like 100% bought into my vision, my dream. I really believe in myself, while others were just like, "Oh, it's going to fade out. It's going to be a hobby for him." But for me, it's like I really want to make it, and that was really scary because there was times where rent was due, and it was like $100 short or $200 short. I didn't know how I was going to do it. And until this day, I'm still trying to figure out how to fucking pay rent. But things like that, man, and it really helped us. And then we started getting some recognition because we were getting out on the road and we were doing a lot of social media stuff and staying on top of it. And I remember I was just writing in the living room, and I have a vault that I named Out the Vault. And it was just a bunch of songs. I just told myself, nobody's ever going to hear these songs. It's okay. Just write by yourself. Just write everything by yourself, and nobody's going to hear it. Like, work through all that. And it was a really cool experience. So when I look back at those songs, they're not great, but they're kind of reminding me of like that stage that I was in. Like, okay, all right, this is cool. But how we got out more, how I got out more. I ran into a guy. I met a guy. His name was Drew Fish, and I messaged him on Instagram and liked what he was doing. He said, "Thanks, man. I'm doing this songwriter retreat. If you want to come and be a part of it." I said, "Hell yeah, I'll go." So I went and I met my producer, Roger Brown, for the first time. And I didn't get to write with them. And Drew was able to get with Roger Brown, and they brought songwriters, and then they brought the artists. And then we all just, 4 days, just write, retreat, right? And they took good care of us. It was like the best times. They took great care of us. And then he did that for several years. And then I finally got to write with my producer the second time around. And we wrote a song called Evil Kind of Woman. And then the second, I asked him if he wants to be my producer. And so the next time I went to the retreat, we wrote 4 songs in a day because we needed it, because we're stacking up all of our songs. And shoot, we wrote This Whiskey Ain't Gonna Drink Itself, Say It, The Man I'll Never Be, and some other song. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it was a good time. But that's what kind of helped get out there, because then we started asking other people, like, where are you playing? And yeah, let's kind of trade off, or I'll go where you go. And I just started watching a lot. I just started keeping an eye out on venues and screenshot them or find out their information. And I just reach out. I didn't have a booking agent at the time. I was that. And it was really hard for my guys at the time because they all had jobs. Like our original drummer was an athletic trainer. And I realized, hell no, I don't want to do that. The guy didn't have a life. He couldn't get out on the weekends because football was on Friday. And then he had junior high on Saturday. Then he had, he did the best he could to help us keep going. But there's no way all the other trainers were going to give up their weekends for him to go play. As much as he wanted to chase the dream. And so things like that, life just kind of came in and stopped. And then for me, I was like, nope, I'm not going to have any kids. No, I'm not going to have anything that's going to hold me back. I'm just going to go. And so we were able to move the needle. We got some new guys, and it just kind of cultivated into that. And then finally, I got a booking agent for a little bit and went all the way to Missouri, and Kansas. It was good for a while until they weren't really booking me for months, and I got pissed, and I just told them to go. Bye. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It was a weird time, but life is good, man.
So now you're booking everything yourself again.
I'm doing a little bit of it. We were able to get on board. I've had some run-ins with booking agents that just weren't great fits, and when you're out booking a booking agent, that's not good. It's not. The whole point of being a booking agent is to help push the artist, not the other way around. Like, I'm saving you, and I'm reaching out to these people. I'm booking. On average, we're playing 12 shows a month, maybe 8. And out of those 12, I was booking majority of them. I was booking 8 shows, and she was booking 4. Or it'd be like even sometimes, but then there's nothing. It blew my mind. And so, yeah, we needed out. We got out of that. And we're at this new lady, and she's kicking ass, man. And I'm happy. Like, I told her a couple of days ago, I go, my brain is fried. Like, I'm worn out because I'm focused on this new project. I'm focused on writing. I have to keep up with my social media. I have to keep up with the content and all these other creative ideas that I don't have time to, like, I'll help you out. I'll go find these venues because we're trying to go out to the West Coast. So we're trying to get Utah, Oregon, go down to California, go to Arizona, and then into New Mexico, and then come back to Texas, and then turn and burn and go all the way to NFR in Vegas. So I want to help her out, but September and October are kind of thin, but I'm just like, man, I know she's working her tail off, but it was just one of those learning lessons with different booking agents. And at the end of the day, to me, you got to just outwork them. If you're outworking them, there's no point. No point in having them. There's no point in taking a percentage, by the way. Let's be honest. If I'm outbook you and you still want 5% of my booking, no, that's wrong. Or if you say you really believe in something, but yet you still want to take, that to me, that's not believing in the bigger picture. Like, if I was a booking agent and I was invested in you as the artist, and I knew you're only getting $250 or $150, I would not take 10% of your money. That's money back in your pocket. Eventually, we're gonna create some momentum, and we're gonna get going. Like, that was just kind of the frustrating part, and it's fine. You just kind of learn as you go. You start learning the business a little bit. I just didn't like it. I just didn't think about that concept. Like, you want me to give up my percentage that I worked, that I went to go call, emailed, even went to go visit to get that contact, and you want to still take money out of my pocket? I don't understand. Now, if I'm in the big leagues, I guess that's different. But at the time, it just wasn't working.
I guess it's good to be the boss, and you can hire and fire whoever you want, right?
It has its perks, but you don't want to get too emotional in the game, because first time, usually emotions is the wrong way to go. You want to take a step back and do that. But when you start outweighing the pros and cons of certain situations, you're like, man, I really don't want to be here. It doesn't fit me. It's not making me happy, kind of thing. So yeah, it took me a while to find the right guys that believe in playing the long game, because that's the thing about the music business. Sometimes you get lucky and you take off, and sometimes you play the long game. But when you find guys that believe in the long game, not because I'm being lazy and I'm just sitting back and I'm not doing anything, there's things happening behind the scenes that they may not see, but we're moving, and it's just trying to reassure them that we're moving along. Like, we look back of where we've been, we've done a lot. Yes, I want to be up there with the big dogs too, but all those reps that we're doing on the road and all those shows only make us better musicians and performers. And so it's good to find good guys like that. And you don't want to fire good guys, but if they're not fitting the message or the mission statement or the vision, it doesn't work out. It ends up showing. So, yeah.
So the guys you have now, how long you been with them?
Well, my bass player, Mike, he's been with me, I believe, the longest. And he started out as a guitar player, because we're going in and out of guitar players. And he showed up to the audition not knowing anything. Like, he's like, "Hey, man, I'm gonna let you know right now, I don't know all these songs. I don't know them the way you want me to know them. And because I got other gigs I have to worry about, blah, blah, blah." And I was like, "You're coming to this rehearsal telling me this?" I was like, who the fuck does this guy think he is? Like, the audacity, but I couldn't do anything, man. I needed a guitar player. We had shows contracted and booked. I said, you know what? Screw it. Yeah, let's just do it. So we go. Bless his heart, man. He's in the back. He's in the back just practicing everywhere. Like 3 days we were gone, he was in the back just trying to learn it. And so when the show, when the weekend was over, it's like, I don't know if I'm going to hire this guy back again. Then I saw that he played bass, and my bass player was leaving. So I said, well, shoot. I go, "Hey, can you play bass better than you can play that damn guitar?" He's like, "Yeah." All right, let's give this another try. Let's get one more go around. And it's been great. He's been with me ever since. He's my tour manager. He's my guy. He's my band director. He's a sweetheart, man. I'm glad that, my emotion didn't like just, oh, screw this guy, he's gone. It's really like, okay, where can you shine? And he did. He shined really good, man. And then our pedestal player is probably about a few years in, and he's played with Hank the Third and Jackson Taylor and some other bands, and he wanted something, a little bit more. I don't want to say organized. That's not the right word, but he really believed in something that, he saw something in me, and he wanted to really, be on board with it. And he didn't care what we had to do. He was just like, oh, I'm here. And that was great. And then we found our drummer. My pedestal player name is Dan Johnson. My drummer's name is Byron Hall, and he's a badass. He's from Seattle, Oregon. He's from Oregon. I lived in Utah for a little bit, and then came down to New Braunfels and wanted to find a gig. And so we hired him, and hoped to God he would learn the stuff. And then we went to France. Like, as soon as he started, he had a few shows under his belt, and then we were on a plane in France. Had to go play over there. And he did good. I put him in the fire, and he came out unscathed. So let's see. And then we're still in and out of guitar players right now. we had a few, man, and then life happens, and that's okay. They're all great. The the first guy that we had his name was Michael Savala, and he was a badass, and he was from the Valley, and we brought him up, and he got a badass teaching job. He got his master's, I think, from Berkeley, and they offered him a high paying job that I can't compete with. But I'm like, go do it, brother. Go have fun. Go do it, man. I'm proud of you. And then we found another guy from the Valley, but who was residing in Dallas. His name is Mike Garcia. So it was like two Mikes in a row. And he's a honky tonk twang guy, and we tried it out, but he was just telling me, it's been hard on him, but to travel and just trying to manage everything with his job. He can work from home, but he still has to work and make a bunch of phone calls. And he tried, and he was like, man, I just don't think I can do it. I love being in your band and everything. I said, hey, we love having you, man. We hate to see you go. But they all did it the right way. They didn't leave you hanging. They just did it and was so supportive in it. And so now we're just looking for a new guy. We have a few leads, and I think that says a lot about what we're doing as an organization and as a band and as a team, how we carry ourselves, that people want to be in the band. They want to audition for it, and they want to see, because we're moving it, and to me, I just think that we're just running on a treadmill, but we are really creating this kind of culture in this band where, you're going to be accepted. You get to work hard, just, do X, Y, and Z, and we're going to make it all together. And how we run the organization, or how I run it, and how I expect it to run. So it's good to see, a handful. I think we have like 8 people already reached out for the audition to take the job. It's been awesome. Those are the guys. It's a short period, but the ones that I've been with so far, they've been awesome.
So when you leave and go back home, are you right back into shows then?
This weekend I'm off, but then after that I have Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then I come back and then we do it again. We'll go down to Corpus Christi, but we're going to do some fun stuff along the way. But yes, typically if I come to Nashville, I'll write 4 days and I'll fly out Thursday night if I have a show Friday or Saturday. If not, I'll leave Friday and, work out. So it's been good.
How do you get all your gigs? Do you guys all drive separate? You have a bus or van or?
We're lucky enough to have a bus when we need it. It's there if we need it. But we also have a Mercedes Sprinter that we drive in, we use, and it's good to have both. I have a really good supporting team now, and really have a good guy. His name is Danny Davis, and he's really believed in me coming out of COVID. He found us and hired us for one of his private events, and we just hit it off, and he's a big believer in me, and I can lean on him for advice, business advice. I was kind of like skeptical in the beginning, because who would want to, work with me or invest in me or investment, it's like taking the time to teach me, and he saw me on the whim I think it was at Cheatham Street Warehouse, and he didn't want to go out. He went out and he's like, okay, I really see something in this guy. And then he came to another show and then was like, man, okay, I really see something. And we sat down and talked, and he really helped me, navigate through financial struggle as far as like how to earn revenue and how to increase my revenue on the road, and where to utilize, merchandise. And okay, you need to get this amount of shows per month to get you to this level, so that you can start saving here and putting money there, and then paying your guys. And then I really learned from that, and he created a lot of ideas. We went on this barbecue tour in Texas. He set it all up, and then he was help booking me, and he was kicking ass. He was running 2 companies, 3 companies, and then helping me out. He believed it. He believes in me. He believed in what we were doing, and he was my guy, and it still is. So during COVID, he got a bus, man. He's like, all right, we're going to do it. We're going to try to help you get to that next level, and the rest is on you as far as songs and performing. I can't do that. I can do this, but the rest is up to you. So for me, I had to wake up every day and work hard. I don't want to lose that. And so it's been good. So, and when he's not out on the road with us, he's also like a front of house guy too. For a while he was doing the booking, tour managing, logistics, routing, bus driver, front of house. Man, he was doing it all. So we just hit it off. But if we're not on a bus, we're in a Sprinter and just rolling, trying to be in the trenches.
And then you're all over the place all the time then.
All the time, trying to be. My goal was to, our goal was to have 125 shows on the calendar, and then I wanted to up that by 175, and then um, I wanted to headline more of my own shows, and then I wanted to go in the ticketing world, and then I wanted to grow a fan base and take some risk about being out on the road and reaching a broader audience and finding out my analytics on Spotify or Apple or Amazon. Okay, where are my fans? Okay, let's go there. What are we doing on social media? Okay, where they're at, and just go find them and go play. And so I don't know the way. I don't know if it's the right way or the wrong way. I just know that it's working, and it'll change tomorrow or change next month. But what we do know is that fans do want to see us live, and we do take pride in having a wonderful, thought out show, like top to bottom. First song out the gate to the last song when I leave. It's an experience. And I learned that, again, growing up and watching Garth and how he like captivated the crowd and how they just, leaned into what he was doing. They believed in it. And so, yeah, we're everywhere, at least trying to be everywhere. So.
And seen Garth probably 7-8 years ago in Indy, and yeah, he put on an amazing show.
For his age and how he still is an entertainer and he's not out of breath. What am I doing? I need to go run and sing. So I can have some stamina. That guy has stamina. I'm like, damn. But yeah, it's even like Cody Johnson, same thing. As entertainer, man, same thing. He gets the same inspiration, I think, as where I get it from. And I'm not over the top or anything. It's just, but I feel like, man, it's a great show. It's exciting, when things aren't going your way career-wise, or you feel like it's not going your way. You hop on stage and it's all, for those 90 minutes, whatever, it's fun. It's like, look at your guys and they're firing at all cylinders and the show's just going, and it's, man, time flies by and you're like, damn, that was 95 minutes. Wow. Okay, cool. Well, go celebrate. So, yeah.
So performing is your favorite part of everything, huh?
Yeah, it is, because it's what I can control. And I know what I want, and I know what I like, and I know what I can do to win somebody over. That's my goal. Like, I want to win somebody over tonight. If I win one, great. If I win 50, great. If I'm opening up for bigger artists and they got 5,000 people in the crowd, my goal is to win 100 people over. Come over to this side. But yeah, it is. It is one of my favorite things to do. I think the coolest part for me is walking on stage. I think for me that's the exciting part, like the anticipation of getting on stage and like, all right, you get your walk-up song. Guys are, in-ears are plugged in, they're locked in, getting in their positions, and then big bang goes out and song starts, and I'm like, all right, here we go. That's the best part, walking out, and then, all right, see you in a few. And walking off stage, it's like, yeah, it's great.
I bet you have some good stories then from shows.
Yeah, we have a few we can talk about.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, we do. I think with the guys, we've kind of seen it all. We spent like 2 weeks in Key West and had a blast, and bass player ends up waking up on the beach because he got locked out of his room for the guys. They were all knocked out, and cleaning lady taps him on the shoulder. You can't sleep here. He's like, no, I'm staying right there. 6 a.m, you can't sleep here. It's like, oh crap, all right. We broke down in Baton Rouge. We were just on limp mode. My Sprinter went on limp mode. He had to get the starter changed out, and we just waited like a day or two in Baton Rouge. It was miserable. So as soon as that thing got fixed, we hauled ass back to Texas. I mean, I didn't stop. I drove the whole way. I was like, we're going home, boys. We're stopping a few times, but we're getting a couple of monsters, a couple of waters, flower seeds, and don't talk to me. You need to use the bathroom, get a big cup and use that. I ain't stopping until we get home. but it was a good time. Yeah, it's a good experience. I really enjoy being on the road too with the guys. I mean, it really says a lot about their character, how they carry themselves on the road, and they do good. They're good. They're easy, and I love that. I love that. Would hate to be on the road with somebody who just hates being on the road. You know what I mean? Like, don't be on the road. Don't join a touring band. If you hate being on the road, don't join a touring band. You got to have some sort of, you got to be a little bit of crazy, you know? Got to be a little bit of crazy to be on that road because you're there stuck in a van for 8 hours, sometimes 12. Shoot, I think me and Mike, our bass player, we were going to California, and I think we drove, he and I, from Texas all the way to Tucson. Just that took that shift, just 12 hours. I mean, I'll get 10. I'll get 8. I'll drive 8 myself. Can you get the rest? Yeah. Same thing. You know, it's kind of cool. But you got to have some good guys that can handle the road. And these guys are. I love these guys.
You ever miss a show or late to a show?
No. Miss a show? No. Late to a show? Hell no. I don't like being late. I can't stand it. I need to be on time. I need to be there is an hour or two before I'm supposed to be there. I hate being, that's one of my pet peeves is being late. I can't stand it. I've never really missed a show unless I got like really sick, but I mean, I try to take care of myself on and off the road. But you know, allergies, sometimes you got to fight through stuff like that. But I haven't really missed a show. I mean, we were close. Like I had some bad run-ins with old band members that didn't like the way the expectations were laid out and how everything was how I had it and what I needed. And so this old drummer was gonna quit when my guitar player quit because he didn't want to be the one left in the band. Like he's a young kid, idiot. Like I don't care. I don't care if he sees this. Like his kids don't, you know. He calls my tour manager and says, "I'm not gonna play," you know, because they just had this young, immature mindset. Like they could just leave a band and leave them hanging and that they were going to win because I was going to lose out on the show. Like, I don't think you know me that, you should know me better than that. I'll make it happen. So they were just like, I'm not going to play unless he comes back and play it, but you need to pay him more to come back. I said, do what? I need to pay the old guy that ended on a good note with me. I need to pay him more because you don't want to play without him? Go look that up in the dictionary and tell me what the hell that is. I said, I'm not going to stand for Matt's attitude. Listen, kid, show up and do the job and get out of here. I was already mentally done with this kid. Never learned it like the record. Didn't care. We gave him cymbals to use. Never got those back for months. And when he did bring it back, it was his grandpa that brought it back. It just like a real immature attitude. And it's like, dude, this is an easy job. How blessed are we to have this job? But when you set the expectation a certain way and they don't ever reach it, they end up firing themselves. And so he tried to, I called every venue. Hey, told the booking agent, and I said, I'm going to call every venue that we're going to play. I said, one of them was at in Spring, Texas, and I called the guy. I said, hey, look, man, this is a situation that's going on. I'm being completely honest with you. I want to do the show. I'll do a 3-piece, 4-piece band acoustic. But my drummer, this is a situation, this is what my drummer's doing. I was in a radio interview in Brenham, Texas, promoting my song and my album, working, and get this long-ass text from my tour manager about this kid. And I was like, you got to be kidding me, man. So I'm like racing, calling every venue, said, hey, this is what's going on. Can we still play? I get it if you don't want us to play. I get it if you don't want acoustic. That's not what you signed up for. But I will promise you this. It's going to still be great. It's going to be 4 of us. It's going to be entertaining. I'll throw away merchandise to the crowd. I will do whatever you guys need to keep the show going. So, yeah. They go, yeah, man, we understand. Because I'm so sorry that happened to you. And let's make it work. And we did. And we did a wonderful job. Those guys showed up. And they kicked ass. Until this day, I'll never talk to that guy. Never talk to them. You don't do that to people. You don't do that to people's businesses. But it's so easy to dip out and leave people hanging. And for what? To prove a point? No. I don't. We have a really good team. We'll figure it out. And I'm so thankful that I've built a really good relationship with venues and reputation, and just trying to do things the right way and make it. And they were so, we haven't had that since, you know, it was so short notice. They thought that they were going to ruin it. They said all this on a Wednesday, and we had to play Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So there I am and calling, and it worked. It worked. So I haven't really missed a show. So
You always try to play full band. Then you never do two-piece
Look, I love playing full band. If the guys are going to give up their time from their personal lives to do this, then we're going to do full band. And it's great. I think they are great musicians and they deserve full band shows. That's my number one priority. Keep everybody busy in the band. I don't want them to go anywhere. I don't want them to quit. They're too nice. They're too good. The harmony is really awesome and strong, and I love these guys. So yes, full band all the way. If I can't, I'll do if it's like a weekday, a Monday, Tuesday, I know the guys are busy, I'll just do a quick acoustic, but I'll bring somebody with me. Like, hey, let's do a duo. Let's have fun, exchange, and do that. So we'll do that, but the priority is to do full band shows.
Now, with your music and stuff, all your songs now, what would you say is your favorite song to play?
I think Go Getter is one of my favorites to play. It's such a like a unique kind of sound to me, and how it starts, and just the idea that just came out of we're in the room. I still, to this day, the memory is so vividly clear on how that day went. It's like the newbie walking into a room with two badass writers, Ryan Tendo and Jeff Hyde. Guys, they got smashes on like Eric Church's albums, and just their accolades are just like, what? So I am just scared to death, just trying to come up with ideas, and what do y'all think? And nobody's saying a word. I was like, oh shit! All right, here we go. And then he's right on his phone, looking at titles, and I think I got something. And then he just starts, laying out some words, and I'm like, he's like, what do you think? I go, yeah, that right there. Let's do that. And came up with Go Getter, man. It's like my highest right now on streaming. Got picked up by CMT, and I think it was part of the CMT 12 pack. And then it got me an opportunity to be Artist of the Month for Texas Roadhouse. And so there was a lot of like cool things. We shot a cool music video. It was great. Danny had a hand. We used his truck. We used his property. He knew all the spots to go shoot the video. I was like, dang, Danny. All right, let's do this, So everybody came together to make that possible, but it's probably my favorite song.
I think I seen the video. Are you like in a creek at one point?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I did see that. Yeah.
Danny and I created this concept. We were driving around looking at locations not far from where we shot all that, and we just thought it'd be kind of cool to be the cop that pulls over a hot girl and gets suckered in, and damn, what are the chances, and it came out really well. I was really proud of that video.
And that was his truck too?
Yeah. His truck, dude. That thing was loud. But yeah, that was his truck, man. Everything. What the Chevy that we used, or the GMC, I can't remember the brand, but that was the police car. That was a pretty cool one. And, I told the director, I go, am I going to be the one peeling out of the dirt, and throwing all that dust in the air? And I looked at the cop, at the constable. He's like, you know how to do that? I go, no, you're doing it. You're putting all, dude, you're in the window, the window tint was so dark. I said, go be a cop. Go chase her down. And so he fucking peeled out, went, man. It made for a badass scene. So she's an amazing actress too. So she kicked butt in it.
Do you feel like you put more energy in that when you play it?
It is my favorite. It's one of the first songs that we come out the gate. So yes. But all of them are, I try to find some sort of emotion when we're playing the songs, like figuring out what that is and really leaning into that if it's like a slow song, if it's a breakup song, kind of have like that feeling, putting yourself in that position. But Go Getters, just go have fun, jump around, and move around and all that great stuff. So it is fun.
And then you put out an acoustic version of it.
I did, yeah. So I had a bad run in with a distribution company, and I didn't get any quote unquote love from their services. So I was like, I got to put something out for, put out for DSPs and get back on their radar and do that. It was for a whole year we were struggling on getting this album the love and attention that it needed. I was with a different distribution company, and I was convinced to go with another one. And so I did, and I moved my whole catalog over, and I was getting ready to release the second album, Pushing Borders. And the moment I signed, the guy that asked me to come over ended up leaving. He quit. He left the company. So you want to have some sort of representation in every distribution you go to, especially up here in Nashville of some sort. I didn't have any of that. So we're pleading with the people like, hey, this is the situation that had happened. Can we do something about it? Can I get back on the Discovery radar to start putting in all these things? I wasn't. It was just distribution. Like, once it's out, we're not going to do anything for you. Like, no Discovery mode. And that is helpful for emerging artists and any distribution to be on Discovery mode. I wasn't on that. I started off at like 19,000 monthly listeners all the way down to 3,000. Like, drastic drop. And so I realized that, well, I'm not going to get any love here. So I was trying to find for a whole year who to go to. And I finally did, and I moved everything over. And the moment I moved it over, streams right back up. Night and day. Like, the listeners that are listening in the moment, when I was with the last distribution company, was 0 to 3. The whole day. 0 to 3. I move over and I go check. I checked today around 1 o'clock. I had like 11, 12 people listening. I was like, whoa. And then it'll dwindle down to 6. And then it'll go down to 5. And then it'll go back up to 8 throughout the day. And I'm just like, thank God. Thank you. So putting out that song, it really kind of put me back on the map, and it was fresh. And I'm going to drop another one September 1st, and another acoustic version off Pushing Borders. And I'm going to see how that goes. And I'm going to release it on a Monday. Like, nobody knows if it works or not. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Let's just see what happens. Like, go drop it on a Monday. It's an acoustic version. I don't have to compete with everybody dropping amazing music on Thursday night, midnight, Friday. I don't want to compete. It's an acoustic song, This new distribution company allows me to have some of that cool freedom just to see what, like, hey, I'll drop it on a Wednesday, drop it on a Tuesday. Who cares? It's something that people want to do, and I think they're going to enjoy it. So 24 to 25 has been a really good learning experience for me, and it's been, well, all of it has since 2020. But I love that, as crazy as it sounds, I'm glad that I went through that experience with those two guys that try to do that, or that drummer who tried to do that. I'm glad I went through the trials and tribulations of not having to be seen or be heard through a distribution company. I'm glad I was able to break down on the road and how to handle myself and how to be a better leader and communicator and those things. Like, I'm thankful for those guys to put me through that. And I never want to go back there ever again. If I can control it, I don't want to do that. I'll have guys here for the rest of their time if they want to. I'm not going to, I'm right off the bat so honest and open. Can you do this? Yes or no? And the answer is yes. Great. And if you don't know, just tell me you don't know. I will coach you. I will guide you. I will do everything I can to make sure that you do know. But if you're honest with me and you say you don't know something, I'm not gonna talk down to you. I'm not gonna say, all right, let's figure this out. Come here. Let's figure this out. Here's how I would do it, blah, blah, blah. And hopefully coach them up a few times, and hopefully after that they just take off with it and do good. But I'm glad I went through all that. So hopefully, dropping this new song September 1st and on for whatever else I release. So hopefully the streams go up and we're able to really move the needle and keep pushing borders.
Do you feel like it's pretty, like your progression from when you started has slowly gone up, or do you think it like goes up and then kind of plateaus and then will shoot up a bunch and then plateau?
I think the music business is an emotional roller coaster. That's the best way I can describe it. It's an emotional roller coaster. It's like one day you're high, one day you're low, one day you're riding high, one day you're, not depressed, but like, oh man, shoot. But I feel like right now we're climbing. The momentum is good. The socials are kicking butt. On TikTok and Instagram and Facebook, we're moving. That's fun to see. And then music is moving up. We're getting more. I just got offered a TV placement on some sort of movie. I don't know if we're going to do it. That's a whole nother beast when it comes down to licensing and asking for permission and that stuff. But things are moving. Like we're getting these things coming in, and so yeah, I feel like we're moving in the right direction. The goal is to try. How can we keep it, even if it's a steady climb? We're still climbing. I rather have a steady climb that's consistent for months and months and months, turn it into a year, than to skyrocket and then just drop down. So figuring out how to do that, that's the goal right now. Like, okay, how do we still climb? How can we win little by little? What's considered winning? Let's win every morning. Let's win every day. Like whatever that is, climb. And eventually that's going to pile up to get to the top, God willing.
That leads me into a question I ask everybody. What's the top?
Don't know yet. Because I think once you're at the top, you're like, is there more? Or is this it? I was in the room today, and I flat out told the songwriter, I don't know what success is. Like, what is... Oh, no, I said, I don't know what it's like to make it. What is it? What's making it? No, I don't know the answer. He didn't know the answer. But to have a feeling, making it, to me, means making a living playing country music. I think that's making it, to me, success. Like, I can still put food on the table doing what I love, like playing music and playing shows, and everything has an expiration date. And I don't know that expiration date, but I know that doing it, I'm going to be happy. Once I realize that, the way the music business, eats up and spits them out, I realize, like, I'm just going to do what makes me happy. I'm not going to worry about them or them. I'm just going to what makes me happy. Okay, I get to write songs. I want to produce songs. I want to go out and tour them, and I want to go do all these things, and I want to go experience that. That, to me, is what I love. And then if anything else comes from that, then great. But the whole making it part, I'm just going to do. If I'm happy, I'm making it, I guess is what I'm saying. If I'm happy, I am making it. But there have been times where I haven't been happy. And times that I've been, in my mind looking back, I'm like, oh, damn. I was kind of in a weird place mentally. Because it can really screw your head up. But I've been really happy as of late. And it's good. It's good for my mental health, and it's good for my body, and it's good for finding. And I think the idea is finding those group of guys that can do that for you, or your team, or your supporting group, your supporting cast, And so yeah, it was kind of cool.
Awesome, man. So you got another writers round coming up again soon, like tonight?
I have one here in a few minutes. I'm gonna go to the Duck Blind to play Ray's
Nice.
Rowdy writers round that I'm excited about. But it's funny that Gavin Adcock's album release party is next door to Losers. So I was like,
oh yeah, I seen
how's
that.
that gonna work? I went to go grab lunch, and I'm walking back, and I'm like, why is everybody waiting in line to get into a bar? That's so weird at 3:00 in the afternoon. But I was like, oh yeah, that's today. That's tonight. It's gonna be fun. So, but yeah, man, thanks for having me. I'm sorry to get so personal, but I mean,
Isn't that why we do podcasts?
yeah, exactly. I hope that people that are experiencing some of the same things, that it's going to be okay, that there is a way out as far as overcoming those obstacles, whether people try to screw you over or people try to do you wrong or people try to whatever to you. You just keep rolling, man. Wake up and just keep doing it. Or when you feel like your bank account is almost in the negative or in the negative and you don't have any shows, it's going to be okay. Just keep going, keep working on trying to do that, or no shows are on the books. Go create an opportunity. Go Instagram Live, go Facebook Live, go TikTok Live. Create something, no matter what it is. Fans will be appreciative. If you don't have a show, go make a show. And I did that for a while. When I didn't have any shows, I was like, what do I do? Oh, you know what? I'll just go live. I'll just go live and play songs and talk to people and see what that's like for 45 minutes. And hey, if they want to donate, great. If they want to give back, great. But I'll do a giveaway or something. You know what I mean? Like, go create something. It's going to be okay. Just it's going to be okay. Wake up every day. Don't give up. Wake up every day and just go do something.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate everything, dude. And good luck tonight and hope you have fun. And
I'm going to tonk it up. I'm going to play all my tonking songs and see what sticks. And if it does, it goes in the contender folder of what we can release next. So that's the best I can do.
Well, I look forward to it then.
Yes, sir, man. I hope to do it again maybe a year from now and see where my career is at. See where it's at, man.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll keep an
Thanks
eye
for
on you.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you. Thanks.
Have a good night.